to Ask Your Favorite Uncles. And tonight, I want to talk about a question every man has to answer. When is enough enough? It's not when you're angry. It's not when you're broken. Not when you're finally sick of it. When is enough actually enough? Because a lot of men don't leave bad situations when the evidence shows up. They leave when the pain becomes unbearable. And those are two very different things. So one of the biggest mistakes men make is believing their feelings are supposed to lead them. Sir, they're not. And that's why the Conqueror's Code teaches emotional control, because your feelings, they're going to lie to you. Your feelings will tell you to stay longer than you should. Your feelings will tell you to make excuses. Your feelings will tell you that if you just wait a little longer, maybe things will change. And yeah, sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. And that's where self-respect comes in, because self-respect is not how you feel about yourself. Self-respect is the standard you refuse to negotiate. It's the line that you refuse to move. It's the ability to say this is not acceptable, even when your heart wants a different answer. And here's some real game for you, nephews. A lot of men think strength is staying. Sometimes strength is leaving. A lot of men think that strength is enduring, but sometimes strength is enforcing a boundary. And I got to tell you, a lot of men think that strength is fighting for a relationship, but sometimes real strength is accepting the truth, because manhood is not measured by how much pain you can tolerate. It's measured by the quality of the decisions you make when reality gets uncomfortable. So tonight, we're going to talk about standards. We're going to talk about boundaries. We're going to talk about the difference between love and self-abandonment. And we're going to help some of the nephews who might be stuck in situations they already know the answer to. Look, nephews, we got the phone lines open tonight. Drop your questions in the chat. Email Uncle Johnny. Send us a smoke signal. You can tie a note to a pigeon if you need to. Or if life has you completely pinned down, put SOS in the chat, and I promise we'll come find you. Lock in, nephews. Your next level starts here. My name is William. I'm your certified unk tonight. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody watching.
Bad news for some of you young men. Uncle Bill, you will not be able to send him a kite, and I think some of you know what I'm talking about. Can't send him that no more. Anyway, yes, I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I'm your no bullshit life trainer and personal coach. Jeez, oh man, it's Monday. I'm your no BS personal trainer and life coach out here in beautiful Pittsburgh, where I'm thinking that the world's coming to an end pretty soon, because, I mean, and not because there was a USC event at the White House, not because of all the craziness going on around the globe, but because it's almost halfway through the baseball season and the Pirates do not have a losing record. I don't know how to act. I really don't. Anyway, I'm here to offer men perspective and a good mindset when it comes to things like mindset, fitness, romance, you know, maybe finding that better job or improving your life in any way, shape, or form. Dude, I'm all for it. The reason for that is because when I was younger, I was very good at making life worse. I made every stupid decision you could possibly make by the age of 46. You wouldn't believe some of the dumb stuff I had. You wouldn't believe I'm only 46 if I told you like half of it. So I told you all that to tell you this. We are here to make sure that you learn from our mistakes so that you don't have to make those mistakes. Abbreviated, it means we screwed up so you don't have to. Now listen to these questions, listen to these answers, and let's better your life every day, boys.
All right, let's get to work, Johnny. Let's bring out our first question. Nephew, put your own questions in the chat. Call us live.
Yep.
Phone lines are open.
Just lost the thing there. Here we go. Okay. Uncle Johnny's also Generation X, so he gets screwed by technology every now and then. Here we go. This is Carlos. Carlos says, help me out. I have a girlfriend. I've been with her for 8 years. Oh, wow. A year. Hey, look, man, more power to you. But a year ago, I confessed my feelings for her. Wait, what? Oh, I've known her 8 years. I'm so sorry. I've known her 8 years. I knew I got that one. Well, translated it from Spanish. What do you want? Oh, see, so a year ago, I confessed my feelings for her, and she accepted. First few months were smooth, and after a while, she started backing off a little bit. In the beginning, she used to start a conversation, but as time passed, that stopped. And when I didn't message first, we didn't talk. Her messages started to dry up. She also likes the reels of other men and not just normal reels. They were just like these reels of good men with good physique, K-pop stars and all. He says, I didn't like it. I wasn't jealous or being toxic. I simply didn't like that because she isn't messaging me, but she's online to like these reels. I broke up with her twice, not once, twice, thinking our relationship is not going to work out. But both of those times, I couldn't stay broken up with her, and I got back into the relationship. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm suffering from depression, family issues, many other things. I love her very much, but she doesn't love me the way I love her. Sometimes she shows some love, and that's it. For the next few weeks or months, there will be nothing else. Her family knows our relationship, and they are okay with it. Her mother also has her Instagram account. So she's saying that she's not messaging me because her mother would look into our message, and my girlfriend doesn't like that. She used to message me through fake accounts. Bill, do you have a stop the cat button real quick?
Not the cat.
Yeah, indeed.
I was going with somewhere else with it.
Well, we'll go that direction too. She used. I'm starting to read this in Drake's voice. That's the sad thing. Anyway, so she used to message me through fake accounts.
Bruh.
And it's been months since she messaged me. I said what I said. 1.5 months ago, she invited me to her house and gave me a wallet as a gift. And there was a note inside it saying, when I'm trying to make a fake account and it's showing that something went wrong, I'll try to make an account and talk to you soon. I don't know what to do. Sometimes she makes me feel like I'm very special to her, and sometimes she makes me feel like shit. I've been talking about this to Gemini, and I thought maybe I should ask for some human advice this time, and you guys already said that you're my uncles. And we did, and we are. Carlos. Now, first of all, I thank everybody for their patience me reading that, because I had to.
Helping Uncle Johnny get through that one.
Well, Carlos is from Miami, but he wrote me the email in Spanish, and I kind of had to hurry. I was in a hurry, and I had to translate it. So, I mean, it took a little bit, but I mean, that's why I kind of screwed up those first couple of sentences, and it took me a second to realize what he was actually saying. So anyway, yeah, sorry about that. But
Major Blaze says he has an anxious attachment style.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Uncle Bill, let's talk about that. So he's been with this girl for a year. It's somebody he's known for a long time.
Well, Johnny, this isn't a girlfriend problem. This is an emotional control problem.
I mean,
that is an insult. I mean, he spent so long trying to figure out how she feels that he stopped paying attention to what this woman actually does.
Yeah, so, he's very heavily focused on what she's thinking.
Well, let's look at the evidence, because that's what we want him to do here. You say she used to initiate conversations and now she doesn't. Yeah. So you say she used to message you, now she barely does. What did he say? Weeks or months go by without very little effort from her?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty vague statement, but I get what he's saying.
So every now and then she gives him a breadcrumb, like a little note, a moment, a tiny bit of affection, and suddenly he's right back where he started. Now that's not clarity, that's confusion. And I got to be honest here, confused men, they make emotional decisions. See,
yeah, and he's either spiraling or in recovery. He's in one of those two modes all the time.
A lot of men think love means never giving up. That's not true. Love doesn't mean
you might want to give up
reality. Love doesn't mean abandoning your standards. Love doesn't mean accepting less than what you need. And the lesson here is simple. Stop chasing clarity. Now, if you need to start observing patterns, because patterns, they're going to tell you the truth long before her words do. Shout out to Johnny Dumbbell. Bottom line, her actions. Anybody can say that they love you. Anybody can make you a promise. Anybody can tell you exactly what it is that you want to hear. But behavior, that's where the truth lives. And here's something for you nephews. If somebody only treats you like a priority when they're afraid of losing you, you're not in a relationship. You're in a cycle. Cycles feel like hope because every once in a while they reward you. And that's why they're hard to leave. It's the same concept why people stay on slot machines. And most polls lose, but every once in a while you win just enough to keep playing. So now here's the question. If your best friend came up to you and described this exact relationship, would you tell him this is healthy? Or would you tell him he's holding on to a version of her that doesn't exist anymore?
You know, Uncle Bill, I think he actually kind of just did just that, except this time it was his uncle's, thankfully.
Well,
yeah, and here's the thing that I would add to that too is I mean, you broke things off, good.
Hey,
you broke things off twice. You shouldn't be breaking things off twice, man. You basically set up a business twice, decided not to stand on it because you were too happy to be with her. Now you're going to be needing to do that a third time. You do know what to do with your life. I got to hear. He says it's complicating your issues with depression, family relations. What more are you willing to sacrifice for a relationship what more are you willing to sacrifice for a relationship with a woman who probably wouldn't urinate on you if you were to burst into flames? That's exactly what's happening here.
We got a live question here. Major Blaze says he's been dealing with a woman on and off since 2004. He determined she has BPD with avoidant attachment style. He said it finally ended this spring, but she called him up on Sunday, chewing him out, calling him all kinds of stuff. And he said he finally treated her like a child and she hung up.
Well, I think that's great that you actually stood up for yourself and you stood on her. Now, remember, she is still going to throw, if she's the kind of personality she sounds like, she's going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink at you. She is going to try to say things that she thinks you have to respond to. She's going to then maybe even attack your masculinity. She's going to go ahead and call you a little boy, or she's going to call you something, cowardly, and she is going to try to bait you into the situation where you just call her a bitch. And just like Bill Burr would say, and has said, at that point, that's what the argument becomes about. Now you're in this room, he says. And that's exactly what ends up happening in a lot of those arguments that I mean, it's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. It may or may not have happened to you. But the longer you entertain this cycle, the longer it's going to continue.
He says, she texted me the next day with a novel saying it was over. Then he says, a few weeks later, she texted me back. I never replied. We've been out of contact for over a month.
All right.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, I mean,
with no contact.
Yeah, I mean, unless this girl is absolutely out of her mind, I think at this point maybe she's gotten the hint. And yeah, dude, good for you for standing on business.
Well, let me ask you this, Major Blaze. You said it's been on and off since 2004, and you determined she has BPD. Has she been clinically diagnosed with that, or is that something that you just Googled a little bit and came up with on your own?
I would say if the behavior is even reflective of it, you probably want to get away from it anyway. I mean, even if she isn't diagnosed, if you're putting that hot and cold vibe forward and you're going from one extreme to the other, shit.
Hey, shout out to Major Blaze.
Yeah.
Enough was enough. I love hearing that, nephew.
Absolutely, man. Good for you. Good on you for standing on business, man. And, that's from now on. Here's the thing. Just like you were able to choose your present and future in that situation, make sure you do that at the beginning of your next relationship when you're ready to get back into it. When you're done working on yourself and, when you're finished with the Johnny Dumbbell challenge, you don't have to finish it first, but just make sure that you know who you are and like who you are before you get back out there. And it sounds like you do. It sounds like you've got this strength that you were able to either build or add to. And, this time use that in vetting out the wrong women that you meet and knowing what to look for in the right ones. Man, great job.
All right. I just want to say real quick that a lot of men, they don't get stuck because they're weak. They get stuck because they're hopeful. And hope, it's dangerous when it's disconnected from reality. Hope says maybe she'll change. Yep. Maybe she'll come around. Maybe next month will be different. But a man can't build his life on maybe. A man has to build his life on evidence. Yeah. And that's why emotional control matters. Not because emotions are bad, but emotions are temporary. Evidence is measurable. And if the evidence keeps showing you the same thing over and over, eventually you have to stop asking how you feel about it and start asking what you're going to do about it.
Yep.
So, hey, I'm glad to see that you have established a border and you're working on your standards for how you're going to be treated, man. Shout out to you, Major Blaze.
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, thanks for the comment, man. It's great to engage with you, brother. Yeah, stick with us, nephew, man. We got your best interest at heart. Last thing I got for Carlos, though, is you said yourself, and I mean, he said these exact words. And Major Blaze, weigh in on this one, if you would. When it all adds up, you said you love her more than she loves you. That adds up, and that adds up to everything you described to us. So here's the thing. We're looking down, high effort on your part and low, if any, effort on her part. When those two things add up, it's time to subtract her out of your life. All right? Let's go ahead and start the healing process, move on, and move up, baby.
Carlos, I want to talk to you for a second real quick about what emotional control actually is. And like I mentioned earlier, Major Blaze, it's not suppressing your feelings. It's refusing to let your feelings override the evidence. See, right now, the evidence is telling you a story that your heart doesn't want to hear. That doesn't mean she is evil. That doesn't mean that she doesn't care. It means that her level of investment and your level of investment are not the same thing. And when evidence shows up, you got to stop arguing with it and start asking yourself, when is enough finally enough? All right, Carlos, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to write us. You're also welcome to call in live. I'll run the number through it. If you're catching it on the replay and you have follow-up questions, please reach out to us.
Yep. Thanks, Carlos. Oh, and by the way, check your inbox. Johnny Dumbbell Challenge awaits. All right, so we got question 2 from Logan. This dude drunk kissed a girl at a party. So, girlfriend and I have been together for more than a few months now. And last night I was at a party. This girl I was talking to was talking to me all night. And people said she was trying to do stuff with me. Kept my distance from her, not trying to do anything, obviously, because I have a girlfriend. And I even told her this multiple times. Whatever. But we were both very intoxicated. And me and her and another friend were in a room just talking. And she pulled me in for a kiss. And by the time it registered what was happening, I completely pulled away, told her that I had a girlfriend once again, stayed away from her the rest of the entire night. I would never think of cheating on my girlfriend, but it just happened and there's no going back now. Any advice? So I'm guessing that he didn't tell her yet.
Well, I don't know, Johnny. I got to say, from what I hear, this isn't a cheating problem. This is an accountability problem. And that's actually good news. Because unlike Carlos, I don't think that he's struggling because he's lying to himself. You understand what I'm saying? I think he's struggling because he's being harder on himself than what the situation requires. All right. So let's look at what actually happened. All right. You guys are drinking and you have a woman pursuing you. You repeatedly told her you had a girlfriend. You repeatedly kept your distance and she still pulled you in for a kiss. And what'd you do? You immediately pulled away. You reinforced that boundary. And then I'm pretty sure.
I guarantee you, by the way, made the other girl want you twice as much. I promise.
Right. And look, let's assume that he told his girlfriend the truth. And now let's compare that to what most people do. Most people hide it. Most people will minimize that kiss. They will tell half of the story. They're definitely going to protect themselves. And what our nephew here did is he did the opposite. So why is he still suffering? That's my question. And it's because he's confusing accountability with self-punishment. I think a lot of men do this. They're trying to feel guilty long enough. Somehow they've paid for the mistake. Now, that's not accountability. That's emotional self-harm. Accountability, nephew, it's much simpler. All right, what happened? That's accountability. What role did I play? What lesson do I need to learn? And what do I do differently next time? That's it. You have to understand something. The purpose of accountability is growth. It's not suffering. Like, good men don't just avoid bad outcomes. Good men avoid bad situations. And that's the lesson here for you. Because if we're being completely honest, the kiss wasn't the mistake. The mistake happened earlier. The mistake was remaining in an environment where your judgment was compromised. The mistake was being drunk enough that your awareness dropped. The mistake was allowing yourself to stay in a situation where your standards can become blurry. That doesn't make you a bad man, sir. That makes you a human being. Mature men learn to identify the first mistake, not just the final one. Because the final mistake is usually the result of 5 smaller mistakes nobody paid attention to. And this is why the Conqueror's Code teaches accountability. Accountability isn't I suck. Accountability isn't I'm a terrible boyfriend. It's not I should feel guilty forever. It's I learned something valuable and now I adjust on how I move. And here's the bigger lesson. Your girlfriend, I'm pretty sure she already forgave you. The person still sentencing you is yourself. So how long are you planning to keep serving a sentence for a lesson you've already learned? Because eventually guilt, it stops becoming useful. And eventually guilt becomes ego. Now you're no longer learning. You're making the situation about your discomfort. And the lesson has already been delivered. So take it, apply it, move forward. And that's what accountable men do. And if we're talking about when enough is enough, I'll tell you something. Enough is enough when you've learned a lesson, not when you suffered enough. Because suffering doesn't create growth. Reflection creates growth. Action creates growth. Discipline creates growth. And you learned a lesson once. So life doesn't have to teach it to you twice.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say is, I do think you did the right thing the right way. But I want to touch on something you mentioned. I don't like that you said something about that you were drunk and she was taking advantage of you. Look, I understand that alcohol might undermine some inhibitions, but you were drunk, you were conscious, and you were alert and aware of your surroundings. You are responsible for what happens in that situation. This is not something where it now took over your mind and controlled you to do something you didn't want to do when you just went ahead and did it. Now, I know you didn't do it in this situation. I'm just saying if you had. The thing of it is that for people who don't like that opinion, who don't like me saying that, I understand it's not popular with a lot of groups, with a lot of people. But ask yourself this. He was conscious enough, alert enough to have gone out to his car, put the key in the ignition, and everything that happened after that would have been his responsibility, whether it ended well or not, because he was in control of himself and his body the entire time, and now a motor vehicle. I don't think that just applies to what happens behind the wheel of a car. You were awake, you were alert, and you knew what was going on around you. You are still accountable. If you wake up in the morning having done something that you now regret, guess what? You can't undo it. That's accountability. Now, if you were unconscious and she came up and kissed you, well, you might not even be aware of it. I'm just saying, that's where that's wrong. You were awake and alert. You did the right thing, but you were awake and alert. That's all I'm saying.
A lot of men think that accountability means carrying guilt forever. It doesn't. Accountability means learning the lesson. That's it. The goal of guilt is to get your attention, not become your permanent residence. And once you've identified the mistake, accepted your role, changed your behavior, continuing to beat yourself up doesn't make you more honorable. It makes you stuck. The strongest men I know don't spend years punishing themselves for old mistakes. They extract the lesson, they make the adjustments, and they keep moving, because accountability isn't about suffering. Accountability is about growth.
And then those same guys make a podcast that you can see every Monday and Thursday night, where we remind you once again that we screwed up, so you don't have to.
You don't have to. Nephews, pay attention to it. Most disasters,
see how we just went full circle there, guys? That's awesome.
Most disasters, they don't happen all at once. They happen one small decision at a time. And that's why discipline matters. That's why accountability matters. Because if you can catch the first bad decision, you'll never have to deal with the 10th one. The kiss wasn't the final decision. It was the final consequence. Learn how to recognize the first decision, nephews. That's where your power is.
I mean, hey, ethically you did the right thing.
All right, nephews, call
all right,
up your questions. We're going to be on for at least another 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, if we missed anything, leave it in the live chat, man.
Yep.
All right, so we got Ty. Ty says, my girlfriend is disrespectful. Dump her ass. All right, guys, we'll see you next Thursday. This is becoming exhausting between me and my girlfriend. I'm starting to think she's playing games with me. At this point, why do I say that? Every time I would say anything that she doesn't like, she will full out swear at me, call me names. She will call me I can't say that. She will call me a dumb person, or other horrible things. And as soon as I react to her disrespect, I become the bad guy. Very toxic. Hey, look, man, I divorced her for a reason. She's all your problem. Anyway. I don't know how to deal with her. I really love this girl, and she says she loves me. Notice he doesn't say, I love her and she loves me. I love her and she says she loves me. Pay attention to that. But every time, this is him slowly coming to that awareness, it seems. But every time we have a problem, she literally will hang up on me, temporarily turn off her phone, or block me and put her phone on do not disturb, so she won't get my messages or calls.
And that there.
Oh no, I wish it was over.
You need to know about bitches.
Yeah, or she will just threaten me. I have to go hours without hearing from her, or go to sleep alone. She will also threaten to dump me for feeling the way that I'm feeling at that moment, and she literally disrespects me. For example, I'll tell her we need to sleep because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. She will not, and she refuses to want to go to sleep. I don't understand how she can be so inconsiderate about my sleep. We can, buddy. Her saying I'm not tired, and then she will tell me she's going to sleep just for her to go back on her phone. To top everything off, her coworker that she now works with again, after she told me he got fired, he's basically saying that he and she are a thing. But she's denying it, telling me she's just lying, or that he's just lying and trying to start issues with us because guys do that for fun. Take it in. This is a coworker that always tried to get with her, and she told me not to worry about. Oh, Bill, how many times have we heard about the guy she told you not to worry about?
Bless that bitch.
Oh boy, we've been that guy, guys. Sorry, that's how we know. Anyway, she told him not to worry about it. So hey, why don't worry about it. Calm down. Same concept. But on our break, on our breakup, she got with him. Now this guy is still around trying to break me and her up after we got back together. So I have to deal with her disrespecting me, her cutting ways of communicating when she's upset with me, her threatening to dump me, and a coworker that's lingering around trying to sabotage us while I'm with her because, they certainly aren't a thing, right? He's just trying to sabotage it. I'm losing my mental health here. I'm so conflicted on how to even handle this situation. I really love this girl, and I believe she's not messing with her coworker. And I do want to believe that she loves me. Again, want to believe. But every time I try to tell her how I actually feel, she gets annoyed and says, I can't control what that guy does, so stop asking me about it. With the right? I've heard that. I think I've heard that in almost every one of these stories.
It's her job to shut that down. What are we talking about here?
Well, we were about to give him a crash course in that.
All right.
But she keeps saying I'm disrespectful towards her when it's disrespecting me first. I feel like she's walking all over me. I know the way I am because I actually love this girl. I want a future with her and see myself long term with her. Not if you love yourself, you don't. But I can't keep living like this with her. I need to know how I can make the situation better. I know everyone's going to say leave her, let that guy deal with her BS, but that's not an option. My heart is with her. Ty, listen carefully. I want you to raise your right hand and slap yourself with it. Okay. Listen, we want it to be like out of pure tough love. Okay. I think what's really going on here is there's only one reason and one reason only. And I'm going to give you a magic answer to your question. There's one reason only why she's disrespecting you. Because she can. Because you let her. Because you pretty much ask her to. Every time you go groveling to her when she's treated you like this, you are asking her to treat you not only the way she's been treating you, but for a longer period of time. And hey, if you could put some stank on it and make it worse, let's go. Uncle Bill. I don't want to yell at the kid. I'm going to calm down. You let him have it.
Problem. This is a self-respect problem. Before you get defensive, I need you to hear me out, because a lot of men hear self-respect and think somebody's telling them to leave. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you've reached a point where your standards no longer match your behavior. Let's look at the evidence. This woman calls you names. She insults you. She hangs up on you. She blocks you. She threatens to leave. She dismisses your concerns. And then when you try to bring up legitimate issues, somehow you're the problem.
And that right there is all you need to know about bitches.
And then you're going to sit here and tell us that I love her. Okay, I believe you. All right, let's say that I believe you.
He must.
But love isn't the question. The question is, what standards are you willing to live with? Because a lot of men confuse love with tolerance. They think if they love somebody enough, they should be willing to endure anything. And that's not love. That's self-abandonment. And here's some real game for you, nephews. Love is not permission to abandon your standards. Let me say that again. Love is not permission to abandon your standards. Because that's where most men get trapped. They don't lose themselves all at once. They lose themselves one compromise at a time, one disrespect at a time, one excuse at a time, one boundary at a time, until one day they wake up and realize they built an entire relationship around avoiding conflict. All right, now, Johnny, let's talk about the coworker, because I know that's where everybody wants to focus, but I'll say this all the time. The coworker isn't the problem. The coworker is a distraction. The real problem is that you're trying to solve a respect issue. One second here. Let me get Johnny back in here. Now, the real problem is that you're trying to solve a respect issue by investigating another man. And even if the coworker disappeared tomorrow, I want to know if that name calling would disappear too. Would the blocking disappear? Would the threats disappear? Would the disrespect disappear? Probably not. And that's why self-respect is the pillar that's screaming at us tonight. Because self-respect isn't demanding respect from others. Self-respect is refusing to participate in situations that repeatedly violate your standards. And here's the hard truth. A boundary without consequence isn't a boundary. It's just a suggestion. And a lot of men think they have boundaries. No, They have complaints. A boundary sounds like this. If this behavior continues, I will remove myself from the situation. A complaint sounds like this. I don't like this. And then nothing changes. And 6 months later, you're having the same argument. Then a year later, you're having the same argument. And then you're wondering why nothing improved. Because standards don't exist when they're only spoken. Standards exist when they're enforced. Not when you're angry, not when you're exhausted, not when you're broken. Enough becomes enough the moment reality consistently violates your standards. Because enough, it's not a feeling, Johnny. Enough is a standard. And right now, nephew, you're asking us how to make the situation better. But before you ask us how to make it better, you need to decide what you're no longer willing to accept. Because that's where every healthy relationship begins. Not with love, but with standards.
Yeah, I mean, it's this kind of dysfunctional romantic situation kind of sounds like the poem should read, how do I disrespect thee? Let me count the ways. I mean, look, we've got verbal abuse, we've got emotional blackmail, we've got verbal threats. By the way, she's most likely cheating on you too, Ty. Disregarding your feelings about all of the above. Okay, here's the thing. But you love her. You want to keep going back for more and more punishment, but you just don't know how to deal with her. And I'm going to tell you the easiest thing there is about how to deal with her. You don't. You don't. All right. Disrespect from your woman is not going to fix itself. As a matter of fact, you are not going to fix it yourself. It takes two laborers, and there's only one here. She doesn't think there's a problem, so there's not going to be any fixing it. She's not going to think that there's a problem until you break up with her, and then there'll be even more chaos. And Uncle Bill, what do we do with chaos in our life?
Oh, we get rid of chaos, Johnny. We
Absolutely. Everybody say it together. We throw it out with the Monday night trash. My trash night's Monday.
One of the most dangerous lies men tell themselves is, I'm staying because I love her. No, nephew. Sometimes you're staying because you're afraid. You're afraid to start over.
Most times you're staying because you're afraid.
Afraid to be alone. You're afraid to admit reality, because love and self-respect are supposed to work together. The moment love requires you to abandon your standards, ignore your boundaries, tolerate disrespect, betray yourself, you're no longer building a relationship. You're negotiating your own value. And every time you negotiate your value downward, people learn they can pay you less and still get full access to you.
And that's why she's able to take you down a peg, because you'll help her do it. You'll take yourself down another peg.
Listen, nephews, listen carefully. People don't always treat you the way you deserve. They often treat you the way you've trained them to treat you. And this is why self-respect matters. Every tolerated disrespect becomes a new standard. Every unforeseen boundary becomes permission. Every excuse becomes a contract. And eventually, people stop crossing lines because there are no lines left. And that's why enough is enough. Not because you're angry, but because your standards have finally caught up to reality.
That's it.
And look, and this is why I put together the Conqueror's Code. Here's the lesson here. And this is where all 5 pillars come together. Discipline. You stop making excuses for behavior you already know is wrong. Decision making. Stop waiting for perfect certainty before acting. Accountability. Own the standards you have failed to enforce. Self-respect. Refuse to negotiate your value. And emotional control. Don't let loneliness convince you to accept what peace would reject. That's the lesson.
Nor even the threat of loneliness.
And not just for Ty, for every nephew watching tonight. Johnny, look, before we get out of here tonight,
Yeah.
I want to leave the nephews with one final thought. The world spends a lot of time teaching men how to get things, how to get women, how to get money, how to get status, how to get attention. But very few people teach men how to become someone. And that's the mission, not just on this show, not just on our channels, in life. Because at the end of the day, your life is not built by what you get. Your life is built by who you become. A man who becomes disciplined doesn't have to chase motivation. A man who becomes accountable doesn't spend his life making excuses. The man who develops self-respect stops negotiating his value. And the man who develops emotional control stops letting temporary feelings create permanent consequences. The man who learns decision-making stops waiting for perfect certainty before taking action. And that's the conqueror's code, not because I invented it, because reality rewards it. And here's some game for you nephews. Your future doesn't care what your intentions were. Your future responds to your habits. Your future doesn't care about your potential. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about what happened to you. Your future responds to what you repeatedly do. And that's why discipline matters. That's why standards matter. That's why accountability matters. Because every day you're either building a stronger man or you're building stronger excuses. And here's something I need every one of you listening to understand. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be the strongest, most alpha man in the room. You just had to be a little better than the man you were yesterday. That's it. That's how great men are built. One decision at a time, one standard at a time, one habit at a time, one lesson at a time. And I also want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. Thank you for everybody who tapped in with us. Thank you for everybody that participated in the chat, everyone who shared a struggle, everyone who's trying to improve, because I know life isn't easy. I know some of you are carrying things you never talk about. I know some of you are fighting battles that nobody knows about. And I want you to know something. You don't have to fight it alone. That's why this community exists. That's why we're here, not to judge, not to shame, but to help men get better. So if tonight helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button, share the stream, subscribe if you haven't already, send us your questions, email Uncle Johnny, drop comments, join the conversation, and help us reach the next nephew who needs to hear a lesson before life teaches it the hard way. Because every man deserves the opportunity to become the greatest man his bloodline has ever seen. Nephews, that work starts with you. We'll see you next time. Until then, go forth and conquer. Johnny, you got anything you want to add tonight?
Yeah, tonight we heard about a guy who had a relationship that is about to kind of burn itself out like the dying ember of a campfire. And another guy whose relationship is probably going to end by that same fire exploding because somebody threw a can of gas on it. I mean, I think when he finally does put his foot down with this girl, it's going to be kind of crazy. Neither scenario sounds too pleasant. And very few breakups are anywhere in the middle between toxic and uneventful. You're going to go through many different situations and many different relationships in life. And when I tell you young men, is not only to control the controllables and make sure that you've got the proper mindset moving forward, but knowing how to vet out the ones who have the ability or especially the intention of derailing that particular path in your life. Going through seasons is one thing, but being the age that I was when I finally figured out the way I wanted to move consistently through my life, a little embarrassing for us. And that's why we're here to tell you that you don't need to be, in my case, you don't have to be 34 years old before you figure your shit out. I like to make the joke that we screwed up so you don't have to. But understand that wisdom, as Baz Luhrmann says, is like fishing something that you dropped into the garbage disposal, painting over the rough spots, polishing it off, and recycling it for more than it's worth. So that's why when we give you that advice, hey, be patient with us who give it, and take it for what it is. It's a form of nostalgia that we like to share, and that's the nostalgia of our young stupidity and the results of some of these stories that we tell you. But until Thursday, we've got 71 hours before we're going to see you again. That's an awful lot of time for y'all to get in trouble. So let's keep the alcohol and the drugs to a minimum, if not cut them out altogether. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park, because accidents cause people, and that's going to cost you. Good night.
Hey, thank everybody for watching. God bless the world. We're out. We'll see you Thursday.